Ben.
Ben, what you doing here today?
Um, getting a requirement for a merit badge.
Are you a member of a scout troop?
Yeah.
Which scout troop?
413.
413, and where's that located?
Cornwall.
Cornwall, okay. Well, thank you. You don't mind if I add this to our minutes for YouTube, do you?
No.
Okay, Mom, is that all right with you?
That's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That your guys went around with the National Weather Service yesterday, and I guess part of what you did was survey the damage. I was wondering if you could give me a description or some idea of what it was that EMA staff found in the field.
Our staff was out with the local emergency management coordinators of South Danville Township and South Londonderry Township yesterday, as well as some fire department personnel and the National Weather Service. They visited a number of locations that had suffered the most damage, and essentially the verbal report that I've gotten so far from the National Weather Service is we believe it was an F0 tornado that touched down around Thousand Trails area and did pretty much damage to Thousand Trails trailer park. The rest of it is all being described as straight line winds or downburst, downwind damage to other areas. I don't have any kind of a comprehensive damage assessment. The damage was sporadic in that there was portions of roofs and stuff like that were blown off, a lot of poles and a lot of trees that were down, lines were down. I believe there's portions of South Londonderry Township that probably still don't have electricity resources, mostly up in the Thousand Trails area and west of there. My next quest is going to be get some kind of a crops of damage assessment done. In order to do that, I need to arrange for a flyover. So we're online right now with PEMA trying to make arrangements with somebody, probably the Civil Air Patrol, to do some kind of a flyover so that the Ag Department can make some kind of an assessment as far as damages.
How about the impact that this had on your dispatch center when that storm came over around 4 o'clock? It sounded like it was really hot and heavy for a while.
Typically get hammered pretty badly. Our call volume is nothing for call volume double or triple during those time periods. We did call in extra dispatchers. In fact, we had extra dispatchers who called in and volunteered to come in for a period of hours because they know how traumatic that can get in there.
You didn't have to open up an EOC on
No,
this?
we had our own staff in there coordinating things with South Londonderry Township, but there was no official EOC operation.
Okay, thank you.
Getting back to these grants, the first one you said is for communications equipment to set up a call center in South London?
No, because part of Lebanon County falls into the 10-mile EPZ for 3 Mile Island, we receive a certain amount of grant monies to support that in terms of equipment and training. Typically, the deliverables on that grant request are pretty narrow. You can't just go out and spend it on anything you want. One of the approved expenses is communications equipment. South Londonderry Township has their own EOC set up in the in the Station 2 Campbelltown Fire Company. What they don't have is in-house radios, okay, to communicate with us. They usually try and do it by way of portable radio. Sometimes that's problematic. The other thing we're trying to do is to get licensing done on our system so we can interoperate with Dauphin County. There are licensing feature codes that you can put in our radio system, which will allow us to go on to Dauphin County system and have some degree of communication with them. So that's included in that. Okay, basically the communications equipment is intended to go into or support the South Londonderry Township EOC.
I'm guessing the timing of that is just coincidental. You had planned to spend the money in that fashion before this week, or not?
Yeah, this has been an ongoing planning process. In previous years we've added RACES equipment, backup communications equipment to there. In fact, I think from last year's grant we're just now fulfilling some of those purchase orders.
Was any of that prompted by the 2004?
Like I said, that all goes to the Department of Agriculture for an assessment. They will not give us any kind of damage assessment without those photographs, so I guess they physically want to see the fields and what the crops look like. I'm not qualified to look at that and tell you, what percentage of ground it represents, or I'll put a dollar value to that, but they are.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Dave.
Is it likely that there'd be any kind of assistance? There really wasn't for Campbelltown, so it was all
I suspect we're going to be in the same situation we were with Campbelltown. I believe that most of these losses are probably going to be insurable losses, okay, which means that small business loans and things like that normally don't apply. I don't really anticipate any kind of significant funding like that. I got was a verbal report secondhand last night from guys who were out with the National Weather Service. They supposedly took some tree samples, some bark samples, some other things back to their office to examine them. I would expect some kind of a formal report probably today.